Hello everybody, and welcome back to the United States Cup round of 32. We have an early round matchup we're going to be having Texas, the number 2 seed, with Kentucky, the 31st seed, on the lower end. Pretty brand new rosters for both teams here. The two new members for Texas being Chillier Pair and Flames Tier. Chillier Pair just moving to Texas from California, I believe. Good to see him on the roster. And joining me today is Dio. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning. Time for what honestly should be a pretty one-sided match, I think, between Texas and Kentucky. Texas, one of the teams that you could make an argument for winning the tournament, whereas Kentucky, one of the lower-seeded teams. Not a lot of well-known tournament players, but still good to see the higher seeds and how they do early on in the tournament.
For sure. And on the Kentucky side, you have a couple of roster changes, some up-and-comers. We have King Art, Eyes, and Kaisuko, hidden player, and some DT fillers for the team. Just hoping to see how they do, shake off some nerves in their first matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I do see some discussion about Chillier. He used to play for Massachusetts. He used to live in Massachusetts. Now is between a few states and has partial residence in a bunch of states, depending on where he needs to be for a job and work. So one of those being Texas is playing for Texas this year. And none of those being Massachusetts is not playing for Massachusetts this year.
That he's just going all around the country, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. So just waiting on the picks and bans for both of these teams to come through. We do see the Kentucky ban, Nomad 1 coming out. I think that makes a lot of sense against Texas. That Nomad 1 very, very difficult on the reading and very good for gimmick players like Wowie and Toybot.
For sure, very fair ban. Wowie, I believe, is number 1 on that map with some hidden hard rock. And for Texas, I believe they do have plenty of speed on their roster, but just based off of Kentucky's strengths, I would imagine maybe a stream pick would go out here, free mod 1 or something similar.
Yeah, and probably just picking into, I think, some of the more basic mechanics stuff. I like the free mod 2 for Kentucky. Yeah, there are good mechanics players on Texas, but in the early stages, you want to pick the more accessible stuff when you are the lower seeded team. And I think that definitely applies here for Kentucky, just picking into some of the most accessible stuff that's offered by the map pool here.
Yeah, and a bit of a surprising ban coming out. It's going to be the Nomad 4, the 5-minute alt pick. Which, I mean, with a team as strong as Texas, you could just ban out the thing you like the least.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We haven't seen a lot of motion coming out of that map, so makes sense.
Yeah, so now the first pick for Kentucky. Again, free mod 2, probably an okay idea. Free mod 1, maybe also okay. It is AR9, a little more interesting of a pick, but still relatively straightforward. Hard Rock 1, also probably an okay pick here for them. DT1, extremely straightforward, just some AR 9.9 DT aim. So there's a couple of very straightforward things in this pool, and they're going to go with Hidden 1 instead. They're going to pick the Hidden Tech map. So not something I thought they would go into, honestly. Maybe something that they are a little more comfortable with here, generally speaking. You usually don't expect to see lower seeded teams picking tech into higher seeded teams. Usually it's some kind of mechanics, whether it's the aim mechanics or ever so often the speed. Not very often, but sometimes the speed. But sometimes you get really good gimmick players, and they're very, very solid on these lower star rating tech and alt and reading picks. That said, Texas, of course, with a very good gimmick team, right? You have players like Wowie, Decaton, Toybot, who are going to be very, very good on something like this. And at this level, players like Flames Tear and Chill Your Pair as well, I think you can expect reasonably to FC most of the time on a map like this.
For sure, and this when it comes to tech maps, this is on the lighter tech side, so in comparison to something like a Nomad 3 in this pool. So maybe just as close as they can get to an aim pick, or without picking that free mod 2 early on.
All right, just getting into it here. Going to be Wowie, Toybot, and Chill Your Pair for Texas. Kingart, Izia, and Joey here for Kentucky. Get into it. Seed number 2 versus seed number 31 in this match. Nice collab here for the Kentucky members. We'll see whether that collab gives them some extra gas on this map.
Yeah, it reminds me of the yellow smiley ball collab from the UK team earlier this year in 4WC. Kind of some dire straits in the early goings here. Izuya and Joy going to be finding some early breaks in this map. Not that long, so might have a big impact, especially with how consistent these Texas team is seeming to be.
And this is always the tough spot for these lower seeded teams. Is like, yeah, you might have a player or two who can FC the map early on, but that's usually versus at least a two-way FC from a lot of the highest seeded teams in the tournament, right? United States Cup is a tournament that is very top-heavy in terms of the overall skill distribution of these teams, and well, you're seeing that right now, right? 99%. Pretty much average accuracy for Texas on this map, with full combo still intact on all three members, versus the highest act 95.7 on the FC for Kingart from Kentucky. Joy on a good score, but not an FC, and Izia having some trouble here, 160k, 2/3 of the way through. And that's just not going to be nearly enough against what is still 3/4 of the way in a three-way full combo from Texas. Kingart finding the drop now as well. So this is, I don't want to say it's over before it's over, but this is a matchup that I think you're expecting either a sweep or a 5-1. And you're looking to see if Kentucky can take a point in this match, really. It's not going to be here on the Hidden One, as Texas will probably be able to finish this out with the three-way full combo still going strong now. 99.5 for Chillier, 99.2 for Wowie, and 98.9 accuracy for Toybot on those FCs. Looking very, very good.
Yeah, they do manage to close it out, the three-way FC for Team Texas on the first pick. Should really, seed-wise, no surprise there. Very strong roster for them, but not looking too hot for Kentucky early.
All right, and now into the first pick for Texas. With how well that went, I think we probably are going to see them go into one of the other gimmicky picks. Something like Boss Rush and Nomad 3 might make sense. Something like the Hidden 2 would also probably do well for them. Maybe something like the free mod 3, just go into the one low approach rate map in the pool. You have options here in this map pool. There are a couple of more mechanics focused maps if they want to go that way as well. A couple of hard rocks, or at least the hard rock 2 that's a little more gimmicky if they want to go into hard rock. So a lot of places where they can potentially find success in this map pool. And again, I think, in a matchup like this, you're pretty much expecting Texas to win all of these points. It's just a question of just how comfortable are they winning those points. Is it close? Can Kentucky get, a point here or there? And on the Hard Rock 2, something like this, I think, is a very good pick for Texas. Hard Rock generally, obviously, makes maps a lot less comfortable for players who are lower ranked. Hard Rock is a mod that is not super common to see for players below, 5K high 4-digit. And a lot of players tend to struggle on that mod in the lower rank ranges. It's not necessarily the case for tournament players, but just generally speaking, that is the case. And when you get something that's a little more gimmicky, a little more control focused like this, that can really ramp up the difficulty.
For sure, this one being the more control heavy of the Hard Rocks this week, the Hard Rock one being the precision pick, but this one having a lot of hold sliders, a lot of snap aim that you have to keep track of. And we talk about player consistency, at least from what I'm seeing, that 3-Way FC is the top score of the weekend so far on the Hidden One, so good on you, Texas. Good opening.
All right, Flamestar, Decatur, Chill Your Pair in for the Hard Rock here for Texas. I think makes a lot of sense just looking at their roster. Again, Lights Out you're looking at for mostly the mechanics picks. Well, we Toybot mostly for the more gimmicky maps, reading maps, and then Flamestar, Decatur, and Chillier to kind of fill in on a lot of the other maps in the pool. Obviously, this early on, I think you can kind of flex that around a little bit and get everybody some playtime, but definitely this is a very strong roster, particularly for hard rock gimmick. Flamestar, Decatur, and Chillier Pair are all very good hard rock players. And obviously, while the other players on Texas can play the mod, I think these are the three who are going to be most comfortable on this sort of a map. Kentucky with Kaisko, Gage Rowe, and Joyi here once again.
Yeah, Joyi being the brick for this Kentucky USC team for a number of years. Took a little bit of a break earlier on, but happy to see him back.
All right, get a quick panic to get Gage Rowe in as well, and should be into the map. Some Tyler the Creator here in the map pool.
Yeah, it feels like the two song options in this pool. You have Toho and you have Western Rap, which, awesome.
That's some kind of map pool, that's for sure. And we do have some early breaks here from Texas this time around. Flamestar and Decatur both breaking. Chillier holding on to the FC alongside Joyi. But Gage Rowe with a better combo than either of the players from Texas. Kaisko finding a break once again. So it is competitive here to start things off. But there goes Joyi on the miss. And the accuracy for Joyi really bringing down the overall score. 82% right now. Whereas you look at the accuracy on the side of Texas and everybody above that 95% mark just looking way more comfortable. And this is kind of what I was talking about with Hard Rock being a mod that when there is such a huge seeding discrepancy and such a huge rank discrepancy can be really good for the higher seeded team. When you have a complex map like this on Hard Rock, the difficulty ramp up is so much higher for lower ranked players. And it's a thing in lower ranked tournament map pooling. Your complex Hard Rock maps have to be easier than they otherwise would be in open rank, where you can kind of look at it very similarly to if the map were just played no mod instead of on AR10, and you just look at the patterning and circle size as being the main determinant of difficulty here. But Flamestar and Decatur definitely doing some things to prove me wrong here, having a couple of breaks, having a bit of a rougher time than, say, Chillier Pair. Still on the full combo, 97% accuracy, 400k plus, double the next highest score in the lobby coming out of Decatur.
Yeah, already double the score of the Kentucky team. We can probably consider this one over, but all eyes on Chile are potentially closing out an FC.
Bro is 1v3 right now. Bro is literally 1v3 right now. So, yeah, not really anything at all that Kentucky can do. And unfortunately, that break from Kaisugo is going to just completely seal it up. As you said, Hubba, it's all eyes on Chile or Paris. See if he can close it out with the full combo intact. And why speak?
Well, I mean, top score, your first 2 maps on a new state for USC. Good on him.
Yeah, even when he was playing for Massachusetts, Chillier was pretty much the main carry player for that team. Was pretty much perma-lobbied every single map for the team for multiple years in a row. So not any surprise that he's also doing very well here for Texas on a team that has a lot of other very good players on it, right? Flamestare and Decatur still outscore anyone on the side of Kentucky, but it's just made all the more one-sided by Chillier's 730k 1v3 performance.
Yeah, now it's back to Kentucky, potentially righting the wrongs of that first hidden 1 pick. Just in terms of roster strengths, I do believe DT2 or Fremont 1 remains an option for them. Fremont 2, of course, being the more aim mechanics heavy of their choices, but
Right now, we got some new music only here on Golf Radio. God, love this shit.
Yeah, hopefully see Kentucky get something on the board here with this second pick. They have 2 more opportunities at least to get a point on the board with their own pick. So looking to see exactly what would be best for them. And they are going to go with that free mod too. Just the basic aim mechanics, TV size map here, some 220 BPM, lower star rating, aim consistency, and that's it.
yeah, keeping it pretty simple. They have plenty of specialists on the team. We can expect to see Kagero remain on the hard rock. King Art probably going to be stepping in to fill on the hidden. And then plenty of players can be that third no-mod brick for them.
Yeah, looks like they're just deciding which of these 4 players to put in on the side of Kentucky right now. Texas with a lot of good mechanics players as well. Maybe we'll see Lights Out come in for this map, as it hasn't played the map so far, but haven't seen any mechanics picks so far either. Lights Out definitely on the team specifically for stuff like this. DT, hard rock, no mod, aim mechanics in particular, something that Lights Out is very good at, so wouldn't be surprised at all to see him in here. Chillier probably taking the hard rock, Toybot probably taking hidden, just depending on who the third member is. And it is going to be Decatur, so maybe we'll see a bit of a switch up on the mods. I think Chillier and Decatur can both take hard rock here. But Toybot probably on the hidden for this map. Maybe we'll see an overmod, but something like this, I think you probably just expect it to be the basic mods for both teams. 1 hard rock, 1 hidden, 1 no mod.
I am terrified to see if we get any more easy flashlight shenanigans if Fremont 3 is picked after what Utami did.
I unfortunately did not see that, so a little out of the loop, but that's okay. we got a match to talk about here right now instead. So hard rock for Chillier, hidden for Toybot, no mod for Decatur. Hard rock for Gadro, hidden for King Art, no mod for Joy on the side of Kentucky. Perfectly symmetrical mod selection. It's the little things in life, Hubba.
Yeah. All players looking pretty clean in the early goings, no early breaks, which would have a much bigger impact here in this map. Shortest map of the pool, only 145. Just a little bit of a act difference, giving Texas an early lead.
Oh, see if there's any misses to come out from this Texas roster. If you're hoping for any misses on their side, it'd have to be pretty much in the middle here, but there's one for Kingart on the side of Kentucky. That hidden player dropping, not great for Kentucky, as now they're down in FC, down in accuracy a little bit still. And here you're just hoping for multiple misses now from Texas for Kentucky to try to come back in this map. We're 2/3 of the way in, going now into the ending, and it's not looking great for Kentucky here. Maybe they can pull something out, but at the moment, Texas just looking super comfortable. 99% on both the hidden and no mod player for Texas, almost 99 on Chili Repair's Hard Rock FC, and just looking very, very comfortable there. To Kentucky's credit, 98 on both their Hard Rock and no mod player on the no mod, but it's just not going to matter here. Kingart finding a couple of drops isn't even the deciding factor. It's just the ACK gap. 99 across the board for Texas means even if it were a three-way FC for Kentucky, they would have still lost this pick.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a stronger pick for them, but Texas showing off their consistency. Another three-way FC on the enemy team's pick.
So 3-0 start for Texas. On to their next pick as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Hard Rock 1 come out here. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like the DT2 finger control focused speed mechanics pick, one of the hardest in the pool. Wouldn't be surprised again to see something like the Nomad 3 and Boss Rush, or something like the Nomad 5, some swing as well. Don't think we've seen that too often this weekend, but swing maps kind of notoriously difficult as well. So could be something that Texas looks into here. Or again, the Hidden 2, another one of those more gimmicky picks. They have preferred gimmick with the first pick on the Hard Rock 2. A lot of aim control in the Hard Rock 2, all the sliders and reading and that. So just a lot of options to explore here, a lot of maps to talk about, but very likely to be something less straightforward than what we saw on the Fremont 2 here.
Yeah, we do see Louie hop into the lobby, so maybe something like DTC could be into play. He does love his old maps. Just waiting on our selection. Plenty of options for this team.
It's going to be DT3 instead. Okay. So going with the more straightforward DT aim and burst pick here in DT3. This is kind of a traditional DT1. AR 10.3, 255 BPM aim and bursts. Very, very straightforward. Pretty much the opposite of what we were talking about as potential options for Texas. But I think just going with this probably because of the higher approach rate and saying, you know what, let's call the bluff. They left open the high approach rate map. And just like Hard Rock, high AR DT does tend to be something that higher ranked teams can abuse versus lower ranked teams. That said, 4 digits nowadays, especially if you're a DT player, can be pretty good at AR 10.3 in particular. 10.5? Not so much. Not too much maps around that star rating for top plays for 4 digits are actually 10.5, but there's a ton of 10.3 DT farm for 4 digits nowadays, just with how much PP has inflated over the years and how high a star rating you need to play maps to be 4 digit nowadays. So I think this is a little less biased towards Texas as a map than something like the Hard Rock 2.
For sure, and it also could be something like Lights Out probably fills third slot here, maybe trying to get all their players to play in this matchup.
Apparently he's silenced, so I guess he's not playing this match, but yeah. Yeah, I would have said something similar, but bro is not playing this match. So yeah, Flamestare, Decate, and Chili Repair in instead here for Texas. Probably not putting Warrior Toybot in for an AR 10.3 DT pick. I'm sure they can play it, but again, these players are going to be more consistent on it as they're probably just more comfortable. Kaisko, Gedro, and Izuya in for Kentucky to try and take a break point here on Texas's second pick.
Yeah, Joy finally hopping off of one, maybe not as comfortable on the higher AR. Makes a lot of sense to get Izuya filling in here for the DT.
And now just waiting on any breaks from any of these players. Ack lead for Texas here at the start. Very good act for Decaton and Flamestare. Chili Repair, excuse me. Flamestare also above 99 here. A couple of act drops from Kaisko and Izuya, and some combo drops now as well. As I mentioned, those act drops. Going into the first KI time, it's only Gedro holding on to the full combo for Kentucky, and a three-way FC still here for Texas. Now another break for Kentucky on that last FC from Gedro, and this map's looking a lot like the previous one, Saba.
Yeah, and a map like this, you're already a third in, you're seeing misses from every player, and I mean, will they three-way FC again? So far, consistency-wise, this may be the strongest team we've seen.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen NorCal play yet, but I know Florida's match has finished up here. SoCal has played, NorCal has played. I'll just check some MP links real quick, but yeah, this is a ridiculously dominant performance from Texas so far.
NorCal 5-0'd Connecticut already.
Yeah, I'm looking at the match results, but I just want to check, how many three-way FCs or near three-way FCs these teams got, because this is looking very, very good for Texas so far.
Unfortunately, we won't be seeing a full three-way Dream. Flames here are going to be finding a quick break there, but not before FCing 3/4 of the map. But overall, we're seeing Chili Repair remaining the lobby stronghold. 99.65 FC coming through for him and top scoring the lobby once again. Not to be overshadowing Decadent with the other FC.
Yeah, and only one slider break for Flamestare there, 800k for him. Once again, actually 1v3 for Chili Repair, by the way. 1.19 mil is better than the overall team score for Kentucky of 1.175 mil. So that's once again just ridiculous, right? They have two players who, if you combine their score, it gives them double the team score of Kentucky. Looking very, very good so far. And yeah, I think this is the most dominant that we have seen a team be so far in terms of just sheer amounts of full combos or close therein for any team so far in the tournament. Just looking through a lot of the other MP links, you see 2 or 3 of those per match maybe, but this is looking very, very good for Texas so far.
Yeah, their lowest overall score was the that Hard Rock 2, which is probably the hardest map in the pool. They still got 1.5 mil, so not a problem at all for them.
Yeah, and the other 3 maps have either been a 3-way FC or extremely close to it. So, yeah, looking extremely strong. And Kentucky now throwing out the Hidden 2. Gonna see if they can go into something a little different. Hey, the mechanics didn't work. They beat us on Hard Rock. They beat us on Nomad Tech. Well, there's a flowy map in Hidden. Let's try this out. And I think that's completely fine to do, right? pick something different from what has been picked so far, because clearly you've been outclassed on the other stuff that's been picked, so why not try something a little different? And this is certainly very different from a lot of other stuff in the pool. It's very low BPM AR9, low aim, finger control, hybrid sort of map.
For sure, and a lot of the players on this Kentucky team, they're not able to fully utilize the best of their abilities. There's not a ton of flow aim or streams in this pool, at least not in like a more spaced sense. But a lot of these players very strong on that, and I could see them maybe pulling some through here, trying to get their first point on the board.
Yep. This one you're definitely going to see Toybot and Wowie come in for Texas, and yeah, there's Decaton and Chillier out of the lobby for this. Flamestare staying in, also a very good stream player on the side of Texas, particularly a very good space stream and alt player. So something like this should be very comfortable for him, even though it's on the hidden. And particularly, I don't think Decaton or Chillier are really all that comfortable on AR9 hidden in particular. Again, these players are good enough that, yeah, they could sub in, they could play this map, but why bother when you have other players who are more comfortable on it, right? Kaisko, Zeno, and Izia in for Kentucky. Kaisko won a rematch on the DT1, though. Maybe we'll get that figured out here. The tournament client ever so often gives players the salty run back. But this time around, it's going to be on Harlequin for Kentucky, trying to take a point in this match, trying to put something on the board here with the stream players on their team.
Yeah, and we are seeing surprisingly no Joy on this, despite being a stream map. Maybe not as comfortable on the hidden. No problem there. First break going to be coming through from Zio, but traded by Flamesteer. A bit closer in the early goings than anything thus far.
And now it's actually looking pretty winnable for Kentucky at the start here. Again, like you said, the combo lead intact, but there goes Izia now. And Wowie and Toybot, yeah, Flamestare maybe can miss a couple times. It is AR9 hidden, definitely not his specialty. Flamestare, I think, definitely prefers the hard rock, the no mod to stuff like this on the AR9 hidden, and you can tell in the accuracy. But Toybot and Wowie are hidden players through and through. And they're going to be very comfortable on this as we see a three-way delayed break from Kentucky. Izia on the previous pattern, Zeno and Kaisko on that pattern there on the cut streams. And now it's just the Texas show. Look down south there at Toybot and Wowie and be amazed. Still holding on to the double FC.
Yeah, Toybot, I've neglected to mention thus far, but he's been very strong on the hidden on these free mod picks that have been pulling through thus far, and the hidden one. Very solid hidden player in his own right, alongside Wowie. He's having absolutely no problems with this map, and with these next breaks coming through for Kentucky, that will be the match. Texas can be taking this one 5-0 sweep, and in extremely dominant fashion. Again, another potential near three-way FC. Oh, Toybot breaks.
Yeah, Toybot will find the break, but it's a nice choke from Toybot. Low accuracy reverse choke from Flamestare. And I think that's 96% accuracy FC for Wowie coming in here to top score the lobby for Texas. Once again, two players who could 1v3 on their side, both Wowie and Toybot at 1v3 score lines there, and Flamestare almost at that 1v3 mark for a more than triple score from the side of Texas on this hidden 2. Very, very well played from Texas, and a good effort from Kentucky, but just not meant to be here in the round of 32. It's always going to be a very difficult matchup when you are one of these lower seeded teams, and no exception here. Kentucky 5-0 clean swept out of the winners bracket and into losers, hopefully for an easier time down in the losers bracket round 1.
Yeah, for sure. And Texas here, we've seen all of our top 4 seed, I believe. Every one of them has played thus far. Texas coming out on top in the head-to-heads, at least in terms of FCs and close 2. Gonna be excited to see their matchups in the coming weeks, but I believe that is all.
Yeah, that should be it for now. Good luck to Texas. They face Arizona in the winner's bracket round of 16 next weekend. And good luck to Kentucky. They face Wisconsin in the loser's bracket round of 16 next weekend. So good luck to both of those teams. Just going to double check the time on the next match. I don't think we have any 0 UTC matches. Actually, we do. We have Stateless versus Nevada coming up in about 25 minutes. So we're going to take a short break here, but we'll be back with seed 14 versus 19, Stateless versus Nevada, in, again, about 25 minutes or so. So take a short break, grab some water, grab some snacks, come on back for a couple of night matches here at United States Cup. If you want to get notified when we go live throughout the night tonight, as we have quite a lot of matches remaining this evening, click the follow button on the stream, join the Discord server, all that good stuff. Thanks once again to everyone for watching. Congrats to Texas on the win. Good luck to Kentucky in the losers bracket. Thank you to Affirm Cheese for the stream, to Rob for the ref, and to Hubba for casting alongside me. We'll see you back here soon.
See you then.